Morning. Welcome to hour number 2 of the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW. And we will be chatting with Lee Brice, who is a country artist coming to town in September, here in just a couple of minutes. And then we'll have more open phones after that. But for now, on this part of the program, as I mentioned, there is a gentleman by the name of Lee Brice coming to town September 19th. And Lee is a country artist of note.
Man, I ain't seen nothing. You're telling me.
Give you a little sample of him here.
What you doing?
Been in this tree all day. Ain't heard nothing but squirrels. Ain't scoped a single thing.
And we are pleased to welcome to the program Lee Brice. Lee, good morning to you.
Morning. How are y'all doing?
We're doing fine, sir. Hope you're doing well, too. September 19th here in Saginaw, we get to see Lee Brice. So let's talk a little bit about the Lee Brice story. How'd you get started in country music?
Oh, man, that's a long time back. I just...
Oh, you're not that old. Come on now.
Yeah, well, I grew up, just with music kind of in my bones. If I saw a piano when I was 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, I'd sit and play it. And then about 10 years old, I started writing songs and playing guitar, and I just loved it. It was a deep passion, even from a young age, and it was that and football. I loved music, writing songs, and singing, and football. And so I had 2 goals in my life, and so ended up going to Clemson. Ended up, making that dream come true by being able to play football for Clemson. And then I got hurt kind of at the end of a season, and it was like kind of a bell just went off, well, it's time. It's time to go do. And I was at Clemson for civil engineering and all this stuff, and my daddy had an electric business, back home that I could have gone and run. And it was at the time, but I just knew in my heart it's where I needed to be. And so, to make a long story short, I came up here with no backup plan, and just I was very blessed. I met a few people early that just believed in me, and we started to slowly work together, and we wrote a bunch of songs, and I started making records and got a deal. And it was a passion that I always wanted to do. I heard George Strait on the radio or Garth Brooks on the radio. I thought when I was 10 years old, I thought, well, I want to do that, so I better start writing songs. Because I figured they produced the music. I figured they wrote all the music. I figured they played the guitars, and in some cases they do, but for the most part, that was just my little 10-year-old mind going, well, you better get writing songs if you want to do what they do. So that's kind of why I do a little bit of all of it now. I just loved doing it back then, and now I'm literally in my studio that I built right now, finishing up my record and some other people's records that I'm working on.
You make it sound simple, but achieving success is anything but, isn't it?
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, and even to this moment, we've had multiple songs of the years, and we've had, 10 or 12 number ones, and we've played for stadiums, and we've been all over the world, and I still have to grind every single day to keep up with myself, because I want to always better my last record, better my last song, personally, and also to be relevant in this day and time. You gotta work, and if it was easy, everybody'd do it.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely right. So when you've been doing this quite a number of years now, do you ever reach a point where you get tired of it? Well,
I could tell you this. The only thing that I've reached a point of in the last few years is my kids started to get to certain ages, and I could see what I was missing and what they were needing. And so priorities have changed as far as I used to just live gone on the road, and I barely came home. And I loved every minute of being on the road and just doing the whole thing. And I still love playing live, and we'd still play a lot. But instead of 225 shows a year, I purposely, knock it down to like 75 shows a year or 100 shows a year so that I can really have quality of time with my family and have it balanced. And it's not perfect, but it's definitely that's been a big change for me, and so, but no, it doesn't get old. It gets tiring sometimes when I'm flying across the country 3 times in 2 days or this or that, or, it gets tiring, but you got to keep it fresh. And so myself and my band, I've had the same band for 17 years now.
Wow.
And not many people get to have people stick around that long. And we love what we do, but we also love to come home and make music. I love to be home in this studio. I'm on my farm right now. I build a studio. I produce records and produce my own stuff, and I write out here, and I love this part of the music. So I'm never going to say one day I just don't ever want to do this.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm always going to want to go play some shows, and I'm always going to want to be making music, some type of music. So.
To be good at it, though, you really have to have a passion for it, don't you?
Yeah, you got to have talent. You got to have a little bit of talent, but what you really have to have is passion enough to put the effort in, to put the time in, to gain experience and knowledge to make you to be better at it. Whether it's producing a record or playing a guitar the right way in the studio as opposed to live. It's just there's all these little nuances that it just takes time and effort and passion to open your mind up and want to go learn, or else you'll just kind of just be any old whoever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you're coming to Saginaw September 19th at the Dow Event Center. What can we expect in a Lee Brice show?
Well, I always, I grew up loving Garth Brooks. That was kind of one of my inspirations of what I saw that just drew me in, and a lot of it was his dynamic, and so, if you're going to model yourself after somebody, why not model yourself after the biggest artist in history? So, I love coming out and like kicking the footlights out, and we have a big ball, we have a big party and a lot of energy, but I also love at some point during the show to come break it down to me and a guitar, or go sit at a piano and like have moments. And so you feel like a roller coaster ride. It's not just one big thing slamming the whole time. And that's how I like to see a show. I like to enjoy a show like that. And I also hope and also think other people do too. I think it's better to have a dynamic show rather than just something to just slamming the whole time or just boring the whole time. I kind of want to do a little bit of all of it.
And it's got to be fun for you too, in order for that to be fun for the audience, right?
Absolutely. And one of those big factors in what we do as a band and my shows is every year, we're playing the same songs. You know what I mean? For the most part, we'll have new songs, new songs that come along, like, say, Drinking Buddies just came out, and we're playing that. But we have to find ways to make it to where it doesn't just get paint by number. So we go kind of rearrange our songs the way we do them live, where they're at in the set, how we do the intros and outros, so that we are having fun. Because if we're having fun, true fun, then the audience is going to be having fun, hopefully.
Yeah. And that's, listen, it's a competitive business. And, if you want audiences, you got to give them something that they can't find someplace else.
Absolutely. And one thing I did last year that I'm going to do again this next early in the year is I did a whole tour of just me. So it was called Me and My Guitar. And I had about 20 guitars on stage, played all of them, played a piano, and I had like 3 different stations. And I went around and I just kind of went through the story of my life. And it was completely different than, say, my full band show, But, man, let me tell you, I personally had more fun. It was like that's what I was born to do. And I couldn't believe the response I got from these. Every show was so sold out, oversold, and it was like they were as quiet as a mouse. I mean, I had conversations with people in the audience through this, and it was about 2.5 hours.
Well, it's,
alone.
I call that,
so it's fun.
I call that intimate entertaining.
Yeah, it is. but the people came to see that kind of show.
Right.
You know what I mean? They
Exactly.
didn't come to see the. Yeah, and that's what I appreciated. I was just very pleasantly surprised, and so I had so much fun doing it. I'm going to be doing that for a long time. Say we did, I don't know, 16 or 17 shows total, so I've still got a lot more places to play that haven't seen it, so I'm going to do it again next year.
All right. Well, Lee Brice going to be in town September 19th at the Dow. Tickets available, and Lee, we look forward to seeing you in Saginaw.
Well, we looking forward to it, too, and thank you for talking to me this morning. And if y'all need anything, you let me know. And other than that, we'll see you there. Y'all get ready. We're going to have us a little party.
All right. Great fun. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye now.
All right. Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye. Lee Brice, country music artist, coming to Saginaw on the 19th of September. We thank him for his time this morning. And we'll move to open phones now. Whatever you want to chat about, 989-752-6111.
We're proud to make